Hello and welcome back here. DC Studios has officially confirmed that a new Swamp Thing movie is in development, promising a fresh take on the iconic DC Comics character. Known for its horror-themed narrative and deep connection to nature, Swamp Thing has captivated audiences since its first appearance in House of Secrets number 92 in 1971. Over the decades, the character has become a staple of DC's darker, more gothic roster. While several characters have assumed the mantle of Swamp Thing, the most famous remains scientist Alec Holland. Holland's tragic transformation into the monstrous Swamp Thing occurs when he becomes one with nature after nearly dying in an explosion and drowning in the Louisiana swamps. This connection to the elemental force known as the Green gives him his unique abilities and places him at the center of ecological and supernatural conflicts. Swamp Thing is no stranger to adaptations. The character made his cinematic debut in Wes Craven's Swamp Thing in 1982, which was well received and spawned a sequel, The Return of Swamp Thing in 198, directed by Jim Wynorski. While the sequel leaned more toward humor and lightheartedness, it kept the character in the public eye. Swamp Thing also ventured into television, with a 3-season show airing on ABC from 1990 to 1993. More recently, the character headlined a darker, more serious adaptation with the 2019 streaming series on DC Universe. Unfortunately, despite positive reviews, the series was cancelled after just one season due to behind-the-scenes complications. In January 2023, DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn unveiled the first chapter of the new DC Universe, titled Gods and Monsters. Among the announced projects was Swamp Thing, described as a film tonally distinct from the rest of the DCU. Shortly after the announcement, it was revealed that acclaimed director James Mangold would helm the project. Mangold, known for his masterful storytelling in films like Logan, The Wolverine, 3:10 to Yuma, and Walk the Line, has emphasized his vision for Swamp Thing as a standalone gothic horror film. Speaking about the project, Mangold explained that he aims to create a simple, clean, gothic horror movie, centered around the human-monster duality of the character. While Swamp Thing is part of the larger DC universe, Gunn has made it clear that the film will stand apart tonally. Described as the darkest project in the Gods and Monsters chapter, Swamp Thing explores the horror and tragedy inherent in the character's story. Mangold has drawn attention to the psychological aspects of Swamp Thing's transformation, focusing on Alec Holland's struggle with his loss of humanity. This approach moves away from a typical hero versus villain structure, diving into the emotional and existential challenges of becoming a monstrous entity tied to nature. The Swamp Thing movie remains in the early stages of development. According to Mangold, the project is still in the scripting phase, with the director refining his story ideas. He envisions the film as a horror noir narrative, blending elements of gothic storytelling with the haunting mystery of a man-turned-monster rediscovering his past. Mangold shared that the story might explore Swamp Thing's origin, delving into Alec Holland's tragic transformation. The comics reveal that Alec didn't just transform into a monster, he actually died, and the swamp absorbed his consciousness, creating a creature that believed itself to be Holland. This revelation sets the stage for a deeply psychological narrative, focusing on themes of identity, memory, and the boundaries between humanity and nature. So how Swamp Thing fits into the DCU? Despite its standalone tone, Swamp Thing is firmly rooted in the DCU's overarching narrative. Gunn has stated that while the film may not directly connect to other projects, it will still contribute to the broader universe. This approach aligns with Gunn's vision of making each DCU film or series self-contained while leaving room for future connections if needed. Swamp Thing also serves as a gateway to the darker, more supernatural elements of the DCU. Its horror-centric tone complements the monsters aspect of the Gods and Monsters chapter, expanding the universe's scope beyond traditional superhero narratives. And what to expect from Swamp Thing? Fans can look forward to a unique cinematic experience with Swamp Thing. The film's emphasis on gothic horror, psychological depth, and environmental themes promises to offer something fresh and distinctive within the superhero genre. Mangold's involvement has already generated significant excitement, given his track record of delivering character-driven stories with emotional weight. By exploring Alec Holland's transformation and the philosophical questions it raises, Swamp Thing has the potential to be a standout addition to the DCU. The confirmation of a Swamp Thing movie under James Mangold's direction is an exciting development for both DC fans and horror enthusiasts. With its focus on gothic horror and a deeply personal story, the film promises to push the boundaries of what audiences expect from superhero cinema. While the project is still in its early stages, the vision laid out by Mangold and Gunn hints at a bold, innovative approach to bringing this beloved character to life. As part of the Gods and Monsters chapter, Swamp Thing stands poised to make a lasting impact on the new DC universe. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.